By now, most financial plans for the year are already fading, not because you failed, not because you weren't disciplined enough, but because motivation was never the solution. January starts loud, new goals, new energy, new promises. Everything feels possible for a few days. Then life shows up. Work gets busy, bills come in, energy drops, and motivation quietly disappears. It's late January now. You've received at least one paycheck, maybe two. The money moved through your account faster than you expected. That burst of New Year energy gone. You're not panicking, but you're also not where you thought you'd be by now. If nothing actually changed after the year started, this video is for you. Not to motivate you, to fix the structure that keeps breaking. Most financial plans fail for one simple reason. They depend on you making good decisions over and over again. Every purchase, every week, just this once. On paper, that sounds reasonable. In real life, it collapses, not because people are irresponsible, but because life is noisy. Bills arrive. Work gets stressful. You're tired, distracted, just trying to get through the day. Here's what actually happens. January 15th. Payday hits your account. You see the number and feel relief. You think, I'll sit down this weekend and sort everything out. That weekend is a mythical creature. People talk about it. Nobody sees it, but the weekend comes and you're exhausted. Monday, you grab lunch because you didn't prep. Tuesday, it's gas. Wednesday, a subscription you forgot about pulls $15. Thursday, a friend invites you to dinner and you don't want to be that person who says no. Friday, you check your balance and wonder where $300 went. Nothing dramatic happened, no big purchases, no financial crisis, just life. Quietly spending your money while you were busy living it. This is decision fatigue applied to money. By 6 p.m. on a random Tuesday, you've already made dozens of decisions at work, at home, about dinner, about errands. Your brain is tired, and that's when you're supposed to make a good financial choice. That's when discipline is supposed to show up. You don't run a business by walking in each morning and randomly deciding what to spend that day. You'd be bankrupt in a month. Yet that's exactly how most people run their personal finances. They wake up and negotiate with themselves all over again. Money doesn't disappear. You spend it, usually at the worst possible moments when your judgment is already worn down. This isn't a money problem. It's a systems problem. So stop trying to be disciplined. Build something that doesn't require discipline every day. January feels powerful. Fresh start, clean slate, new version of you. But motivation is temporary by design. Behavioral psychology has shown this for decades. Motivation spikes with novelty and then fades quickly. That's why gyms are full in January and empty by March. Same people, same goals, different structure. The same pattern shows up everywhere. People start meal prepping in January and ordering takeout by February. They organize their whole house the first week and can't find their keys by week 6. They download a budgeting app with enthusiasm and delete it when it keeps asking them to categorize transactions. Motivation is a feeling, not a plan. Feelings change with your mood, your energy, your stress level, what happened at work that day. If your financial system needs you to feel motivated every single time money moves, that system will fail. Not might fail, will fail. If your financial plan relies on motivation, it's already on borrowed time. That's not pessimism, that's experience. If your plan needs a feeling, it's not a plan. This isn't exciting. That's why it works. The ancient Stoics understood something most modern financial advice ignores. You don't control outcomes, you control systems. They didn't rely on feeling motivated. They assumed bad days would come, fatigue, stress, distraction. So they built routines that worked even when they didn't feel like showing up. Stoic philosophy isn't about being tough. It's about removing unnecessary decisions. Here's the practical application. Prepare for your worst day, not your best. Your system needs to work when you're tired at 9 p.m. scrolling your phone, when a surprise car repair hits and you're stressed, when you've had a long week and just want to not think about money for a second. A strong system assumes you'll have weak moments. That's not being negative, that's being realistic. Applied to money, the idea is simple. If your financial success depends on how disciplined you feel on a random Tuesday night, the system is weak. A good system works when you're tired, when you're busy, when you don't care. The Stoic approach to money is this: decide once, execute forever. By late January, 3 things usually happen. You receive at least one paycheck. The money disappears faster than expected, and that familiar frustration shows up again. Not panic, not guilt, just confusion. You didn't buy anything crazy. You paid bills, bought groceries, maybe ordered takeout once or twice, and yet you're asking the same question again. Where did it go? People scroll through their transactions looking for the villain, the one big stupid purchase that explains everything. They don't find it. Instead, they find normal life. $47 at the grocery store, $12 for parking, $8 coffee, $35 at Target for things they actually needed, $15 for that subscription they forgot they had. No smoking gun, just 100 small decisions that added up while they weren't paying attention. That question isn't a failure, it's a signal. It means the structure never changed. You're still making the same decisions the same way and getting the same results. The decisions that carry the year. Decision 1. What happens the moment money arrives? The paycheck is the most important financial moment of the month. Not because you're about to spend it, but because that's when you decide what won't happen to it. If money sits unassigned, life assigns it for you. And life is very good at spending your money. Here's what the first 24 hours after payday should look like. Not someday, today. Your paycheck hits Thursday morning. By Thursday night, you've already moved money with purpose, and not all of it, but the important parts. First move. Bills that are due before your next paycheck. Rent, utilities, car payment, minimum debt payments. These aren't optional. Get them out of reach immediately. You don't want to be 3 days before rent is due wondering if you have enough left. Second move. Your emergency fund or savings goal. Even if it's $50, even if it feels small, the amount matters less than the consistency. Move it the same day you get paid before you see the money long enough to imagine spending it. Third move. Retirement contribution if you're self-employed, or if your 401k isn't automatic yet. This isn't about getting rich by next year. This is about not arriving at 60 with nothing. Everything else can wait a day or two. But these 3 moves happen fast. Before convenience spending starts, before your brain starts listing all the things you need, the mistake most people make is leaving everything in checking and promising themselves they'll be careful. That's not a plan. That's hope. And hope is not a financial strategy. Hope is great. Hope is also not in your budget. What to do? Within 24 hours of payday, move money intentionally. Savings, bills, debt, before convenience touches it. Willpower is unreliable. Automation is not. This isn't just a feeling. According to the Federal Reserve, more than a third of Americans couldn't cover an unexpected $400 expense using cash or savings, not because they're reckless, because most money decisions are still made on the fly. People who automate win more often, not because they're smarter, but because the decision is already made before life gets involved. Automation isn't about being lazy, it's about being realistic. You will forget, you will get busy, you will have a long week and zero desire to log into your bank account to do the right thing. Automation doesn't care how you feel. If it requires you to remember it, it's not a system, it's a guess. Here's what to automate first in order of importance. Start with retirement. If your employer offers a 401k, the contribution comes out before you see it, before you can spend it, before you can talk yourself out of it. Even 3% is better than 0. You can increase it later, start with something. Next, automate savings transfers. Most banks let you schedule recurring transfers from checking to savings. Pick a day close to payday. Pick an amount you won't miss immediately, $50, $100, whatever, doesn't make you panic. The transfer happens whether you remember or not. After that, automate investment contributions if you're already past the emergency fund stage. Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab all have automatic investment options. You connect your bank account, set a schedule, pick your funds, and forget about it. The market goes up and down. Your contributions keep going. Some banks offer bucket systems or automatic savings tools. Ally has savings buckets. Capital One has multiple savings accounts you can name and automate. SoFi has vaults. Chase lets you create savings goals. The specific tool doesn't matter. What matters is that you remove yourself from the process. You're not trying to automate everything, just the things that matter most. The things that make the difference between finishing the year ahead or finishing the year confused. In the US, this looks like automatic savings buckets, paycheck routing, automatic 401k contributions, and recurring transfers to investment accounts. What to do? Automate anything that matters. If you don't see it, you don't spend it. Do the boring stuff. It works. Decision 3. What gets protected first? Most people protect what's left. That's backwards. Emergency funds, retirement contributions, and essential savings must be protected before lifestyle spending. Not because you don't deserve enjoyment, but because stability comes first. Here's the difference. Protecting what's left means you pay for everything else first. Dinners, subscriptions, upgrades, convenience purchases, and then save whatever remains. Most months, nothing remains. Protecting first means you move the important money out of reach immediately and then live on what's left. It feels restrictive for about 2 weeks, then it feels normal, then it feels secure. The goal is to make your future self's money harder for your current self to touch. Not impossible, just inconvenient. Use separate accounts with clear purposes. One checking account for bills and spending, one savings account that isn't connected to your debit card, one retirement account you never look at except once a year, one investment account for longer term goals. When money has a clear job and lives in a separate space, you stop seeing it as available. It's already assigned, it's already working. You don't borrow from it for dinner because it doesn't feel like your dinner money anymore. Friction is your friend here. If accessing your emergency fund requires logging into a different bank, transferring money, and waiting a day for it to clear, you probably won't touch it for a coffee impulse purchase. You'll only use it for an actual emergency. What to do? Decide what money is untouchable and make it inconvenient to access. Decision 4. What stays out of reach? Money that's easy to access gets slowly drained. Subscriptions, upgrades, small conveniences, none feel dangerous, all add up. Most people hemorrhage money through subscriptions they forgot existed, streaming services they don't watch, apps they use twice, gym memberships they meant to cancel, premium tiers they upgraded to and never downgraded, cloud storage they're paying for but don't need. Each one is small. $7 here, $12 there, $20 somewhere else. Individually, they're not worth worrying about. Collectively, they're $100 to $300 a month disappearing into services you barely use. Here's the routine. One afternoon every month, open your bank statement and highlight every recurring charge, not to judge yourself, just to see what's running in the background. Then, ask a simple question for each one. Did I use this in the last 30 days? Not, might I use this someday? Did you actually use it? If the answer is no, cancel it right then. Don't tell yourself you'll do it later. Later never comes. Cancel it before you close the laptop. This isn't about deprivation, it's about knowing where your money is going. Most people are shocked when they actually add up their subscriptions. They're paying for 3 different cloud storage services, 2 music apps, 4 streaming platforms they rotate between, a meditation app they open once, a meal kit subscription they paused but never canceled. Create a rule. New subscriptions require killing an old one. You want to try a new streaming service? Fine. Cancel one you have. You want to upgrade to premium something, downgrade something else. What to do? Use separate accounts with clear purposes. Friction is your friend. Run a monthly 15-minute leak audit and unsubscribe from anything you didn't actively use. This video isn't about getting rich. More money doesn't fix broken structure, it amplifies it. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows spending scales with income. People earn more and still feel just as stressed. They upgrade their apartment, buy a nicer car, eat out more often, add more subscriptions, and somehow still end up asking, where did it go? I've lived this. I made more money, felt relief for a moment, then ended up in the same place. Same stress, same confusion, same question because I never fixed the system. Think of it like pouring water into a bucket. If the bucket has cracks, pouring more water doesn't solve the problem. It just leaks faster. You need to patch the cracks first. Then adding water actually fills the bucket. Control is patching the cracks. It's knowing where money goes before it gets there. It's not wondering what happened every month. It's not checking your balance with anxiety. It's not avoiding looking at your bank account because you're afraid of what you'll find. Control means you know what's happening with your money, not because you track every transaction obsessively, but because you set up a system that works without you watching it constantly. Control lets you breathe. Wealth grows after that. Exciting plans collapse under pressure. Boring systems survive. Look at Warren Buffett's wealth curve. It's not explosive early, it's slow, then relentless. Most of his wealth came from decades of consistency, not from timing the perfect investment or getting lucky once, from doing the same boring things for decades without stopping. Compounding needs two things, time and consistency. You can't control time. You can control consistency, and consistency comes from systems, not motivation. Think of a thermostat again. It doesn't get excited about maintaining temperature. It doesn't need a pep talk. It just does the job quietly in the background every single day. That's what a good financial system does. Nobody makes movies about boring routines, but boring routines quietly win. This isn't exciting. That's why it works. Winning isn't being rich by December. Winning is finishing the year calm, in control, and ahead. It looks like this. An emergency fund in place or growing. Not fully funded yet, maybe, but growing. Every month, a little more. By December, you have $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 that wasn't there in January. That's not nothing. That's breathing room, no financial surprises that break you. Your car needs a repair in October. It's annoying, but it doesn't destroy your month. You have money set aside, you handle it, you move on. Investments running automatically. You're not thinking about it every day. You're not watching the market. You're not panicking when it drops. Your contributions keep running in the background. By December, you've invested thousands without thinking about it once after you set it up. Debt smaller than it was in January. Maybe not gone, but smaller. You're making progress. The minimum payments are automatic. The extra payments happen when you have room. By December, you owe less than you did at the start of the year. No constant where did it go feeling. You're not confused anymore. You're not scrolling transactions looking for answers. You know where your money goes because you decided where it goes. You sleep better. You decide less. You feel steady. Retirement isn't a fantasy you hope happens someday. It's a set of automatic contributions building slowly in an account you barely look at. In 20 years, those contributions will matter. In 30 years, they'll matter a lot. That's the goal, not perfection, predictability. You don't need weeks. You don't need fancy tools. One afternoon is enough. Here's the 15-minute checklist. Actually, 15 minutes, not an exaggeration. First 5 minutes, open your bank account. Look at your recurring bills. Write them down. Rent, utilities, car payment, insurance, minimum debt payments, subscriptions you're keeping. Add them up. That's your baseline. Everything else is optional. Next 5 minutes, decide your savings amount. Look at what's left after bills. Pick a number that feels slightly uncomfortable, but not impossible. $50, $100, $200, whatever makes you pause but doesn't make you panic. That's your automatic transfer amount. Last 5 minutes, set up the automation, log into your bank, schedule a recurring transfer from checking to savings for the day after payday, set up your 401k contribution if you haven't already. Schedule one bill payment if it isn't automatic yet. That's it. 15 minutes. You just built the foundation. After that, the system runs quietly in the background. You don't think about money every day, you live your life. The transfers happen, the contributions run, the bills get paid. You check in once a month to make sure nothing broke. That's all. What accounts do you need? 3 is enough. 1 checking for bills and spending, 1 savings that isn't linked to your debit card, 1 retirement account. If you want to get fancy later, add an investment account. But 3 is enough to start. Name them clearly. Not savings account 1. Name it emergency fund or car repair fund or house down payment. When you see the name, you remember what it's for. You're less likely to rate it for dinner, decide where money goes first, automate the basics, remove easy access. Stop negotiating with yourself later. You will mess up. Everyone does. The goal isn't perfection, it's predictability. You'll have a month where you overspend. You'll have an emergency that costs more than you saved. You'll forget to cancel a subscription and get charged again. That's normal. The system doesn't fall apart because you had one bad month. Brushing your teeth isn't exciting. You do it anyway. Not because it's fun, because you know what happens if you don't. That's how financial stability is built. Not by being perfect, by being consistent. The system survives your mistakes. That's the point. You don't need to be disciplined every single day. You just need the structure to keep working even when you're not. This video isn't about fixing 2026. It's about fixing the system that runs it. Set it once, live your life, check in once a month, adjust when needed, but stop rethinking your entire financial life every week. Subscribe if you want practical money advice, no fluff. Do the boring stuff, it works.